Hello, welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights and Tarot, for another episode of Esoteric Musings with Dan. Dan, you want to come in and say hello?
Yeah. Hi, how you doing? How's everybody doing? I know you didn't get it right.
Dan.
Esoteric. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what's going on, Dan? How's the family? How's everybody?
Everything's doing good. I mean, you started Dungeons and Dragons, and this weekend I get to live it by going to a Renaissance fair. So, which, by the way, we were watching a strong woman, and behind us there were people arguing over rules in Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons. I was like,
Yeah, I'm
so
jealous. I'm jealous. I would love to. I told you I used to be in a SCA group, which is the Society of Creative Anachronism. And yeah, we dressed up in medieval clothing and we had sword fights, and I got to slay my enemy in one battle with a heroic blow to the chest. But that's another story for another time.
do they have conventions around there? At least, I mean, it's Asia, so I'd think like anime conventions.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm near Bangkok. They have a lot of that stuff, but nothing like the Renaissance fairs, where that's a totally European concept,
Yeah.
And they don't have anything that's like similar to that, like a Chinese, and like China was the major influence here.
But they have dragons, but just the dragons are more like serpents than
yeah.
Europe.
And the dragons were good too. Lucky. They were
Yep. They're wise and sorcerers and things like that.
Kind of like Quetzalcoatl, like we were talking about Quetzalcoatl earlier before the show.
Yeah.
I just wanted an excuse to say Quetzalcoatl.
Well, we'll be talking about that later. So
yeah.
A little bit.
Hey, before we begin, why don't you tell people about Mystech wares?
Well, we were mentioned on another show of McAllister TV, and we just wanted to make sure that anyone who it's getting all funky because of the green screen.
Yeah, you can see that's actually really cool. You can see the sea in
it. Wait, that our pyramids don't do that. That's Scott's effect. They don't actually do that.
Yeah, right.
So if if anyone shops through this show that you heard about it through our show, just make sure you put in the message that you got it through Scott's show. We have the typical. We're getting better at these. The pendants, they're a lot easier to get at. But we're trying new things, different varieties, different shapes. We're trying to move in a certain avenue. One of Veronica's friends, she has a dog and she wanted one for her dog. So we're trying to do bone shapes and things for animals too. And we have a new one called
You broke up a little bit there, Dan. I think it's because I was messing with my settings.
Oh, we're starting to work on also adding for dogs, like animals, cats, things like that too. We also have I have a new one called the Traveler. It's similar to the Dreamer, and this is more about if you're traveling or adventuring. It's meant to give you intuition and discernment when you're on the road. So just make sure you mention Scott if you heard it through the channel. Well, there we go.
I messed with my settings. Hold on a second. Let me get myself back to what is going on here? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hold on a second. Is that right? Okay, I'm back.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, these things are great. And I honestly do believe that one that you said affected dreams. Oh, my camera's backwards again. Damn it. That one, if that affected dreams, I have to say my dreams have ramped up since then.
Yep. Well, Linda said her dreams. She was getting dreams, and one of Veronica's friends that bought one has wild dreams to the point where she was talking in her sleep and she woke up her son. So
Really? So
yeah,
you're starting to get feedback then. It's
yeah.
not just, coincidence that and I don't dream very much. So for my dreams to be ramping up, that says a lot. Or at
Well,
least I don't remember my dreams much.
I apologize to everybody, but when I hear these things, I feel real nerdy and almost like in Dungeons and Dragons. I'm the tradesman or the NPC that's making magical pendants for the adventurers to come by and grab, because I name them like, so I name them the dreamer, I name them the traveler, and what I really want is like the one you have. It's Scott's pendant or talisman of the dreamer.
Right.
So one day,
Right.
hopefully, some group of adventurers doesn't come to your house and kill you and take your magical items, and they have to roll on them
Well,
to get them. But
that would have to be a quite a journey they would have to make to find me. The pizza guy can't even find my address because my house is back on these back alleys, and there's no my street address is not on Google Maps. So good luck
there you
finding
go.
me.
It'll be like a real dungeon. They're gonna twists and turns and getting lost and go the wrong way. All right, so let's get into some questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with something fun. We talked about the Renaissance Fair before we even went to the fair about this, and the fair's theme was Robin Hood, right? And I was thinking in my head, it just popped in my head, the cabal, the people in control they always change history. They make up their own stuff, and you never know what things are true. And we get you can add to it because you probably know more about the history behind it. Is Robin Hood? He stole from the rich, he gave to the poor. And I was wondering, was that even true? Was he just a hitman for a royal family and just making them look good? I mean, that sounds just what goes on today. Like our country invades another country and we're the good guys because they're terrorists, but we're not really. We're just making money for some politician or some, company. We just make it seem like we're the good guys. So
Yeah, so the original story makes him out to be a victim, right? Because
yep,
King Richard the Lionhearted went over,
yep,
like you said, to be this great guy and kill a bunch of Muslims, and
yeah,
in the Crusades. And while he was gone, his brother, I can't remember the name, the usurper, who tried to take over the throne, and he stole Robin's family estate,
yeah,
basically, which made him he turned to crime. And then his main enemies were that prince, which I wish I could
yep,
remember his name, and then the sheriff of Nottingham,
yep.
right?
So
So
how do you want to ask it?
I was going to ask you that. So was that just propaganda?
Yeah.
Was that propaganda, and was I don't know. Carry on.
Can you ask the cards? Can you ask the cards that you're doing a drawing on Robin Hood, like you were doing a drawing at that time? So how you have like current, past, things like that. Can you just do a drawing that ask the cards who was Robin Hood? What was the story about? But from the point of view of that time period.
Right.
So
and let's just do a general, like
yeah.
I guess there's a debate as to if it was a real person or not.
Yeah.
but there's something, you're right about something here. You're onto something here, because I think there are more movies and television shows about Robin Hood than just about any other. I think even more than King Arthur, you know.
Yep, there was the
So
cartoon with all the animals, right?
oh, there's more than we could name here. I mean, just
Kevin
the movies
Kevin
alone.
Costner. Yeah, it gets remade every 5 years. So
By the way, my favorite one was called Robin and Marian with uh Sean Connery.
oh,
And
really? I didn't.
it was the later years. It was like what happened, like in that one Robin Hood's old already.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So we're gonna take a look at just the character of Robin Hood from the perspective of his time. Um, how did the people of his time see him then?
Yeah.
And then we'll see if he was real or I don't know, just general. Okay. Oops. Turn these around. Lovers. Okay. You know it's a love story too. Robin and
Yeah.
Marian.
Yep.
So that's interesting that the lovers is coming up. Oh, and I think he really was a good guy, because this King of Wands, he's a good guy. And there was a conspiracy in the background. This is the prince taking over the throne.
Wow.
Strength. So there was strength in Robin because he was just and right and noble. So he had that strength going for him. And this also, it's an archetypal story. So, all right. It was, first off, I believe it was it was based on a real person. Okay. He was a good guy. He's not what you were saying before, like secretly working for the deep state at the time. He was a
Yeah.
team with Marion. It wasn't just him and Marion. She was a critical part of his team. And there had been a conspiracy, and like I said, there was the prince, the sheriff of Nottingham, and one other character involved.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense, because wasn't she like the inside man? So he was on the outside taken out,
right,
and she was pretending to be, because the royalty on the inside.
right, yeah, depending on which version of the story you get. But yeah, in a lot of in almost every version, Marion plays a huge role in the merry men. Okay, and that's what gave them the strength. This divine masculine and feminine combination is what gave them the strength to overcome this evil. And then, like I said, with this world, I think this is a story that's been repeated. Well, not just through the movies and films, but in the past. It's an archetypal thing that's where the story of this guy who has everything he owns taken away from him, so he has to go and fight against the corrupt system, and he does it by becoming known as an outlaw himself. This is something that's happened again and again. It's a recurring theme in human history. It's about justice, and it's about innocence, protecting the innocent, because that's what he would do. He would steal from the rich and give to the poor, and bring justice to the people. And this is, by the way, why it rings so true with so many people, and that's why you have so many films and series made about it. So good question, Dan. But yeah, good guy, real person, good guy, and it's repeated over and over again throughout history. I'm sure if you look at other cultures like Chinese or Native American, whatever, you'll find someone like this.
Just like the hero's journey, that
Yeah,
is
right.
found everywhere. So,
But if you haven't seen Robin and Marion with Sean Connery, you gotta watch it. It's brilliant. It's definitely
put it
that's
on the
my
list.
favorite Robin Hood, because it's not the traditional. Like I said, it's like what happens after, like where all the other movies end. It's like where this
Yeah.
one picks off.
Yeah.
Because Marion goes and she becomes a nun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird. All right. So, next question. Do you want to get into these? Recently, Dr. Zelenko, the guy, the doctor that had a perfect record at curing people. Not perfect, but almost perfect record of curing people from the pandemic. I don't know, this is YouTube, so from illness with HCQ. Even talked to Mr. T, got him to do that stuff. He struggling with cancer, but he's only 48. He supposedly died. Also, another doctor that was the one that did a video on the jab, where the hydra's coming out of the forming into whatever. That's Carrie Madej. I think I gotta let me share screen. She got into a plane crash, and I think she's doing well, but they said she was in critical. Then she just broke a leg, so I don't know what the story is. So I want to know if, first of all, if Zelenko, if he had a fake death, right? They pulled him out. Were black cats going after?
Let's not ask in a yes or no. Let's just say what is the state of Dr. Zelenko right now?
All right, so we'll do him, and then we'll talk about Carrie, and then I'll ask one that's a connection with both of them, whether it was the good guys or bad guys, if depending on what answers we get.
All right, so Dr. Zelenko first.
Yeah.
So what's going on with him? And by the way, there's an implied yes or no. Is he really off the earth plane? If we get an ace in the first 4 cards, that'd be a yes. Somebody trying to call me. Telemarketers. We even have them in Thailand. Oh, actually, I'm going to pause the recording. I think this might be a delivery. Pause the recording.
Okay.
Law Pap Nun Cup. It's a delivery.
Oh, is it paused?
Nina, delivery.
I don't know if he paused, but because I control. No, it says recording. He got up.
Not out. Okay.
He got a delivery.
Law Pap Nun.
Connection, huh? Quite the connection.
Okay, sorry about the interruption. You paused it, right?
I don't know where I paused, so I don't know how to pause.
But, oh, you okay? Never mind. I'll cut it out.
Okay. We just cut it out. Or you could leave it in because it's real
So-
life.
If you see, I don't know, since you have it, I can pause it and start again.
All right, there we go. Back.
All right, let's go back to my cards. Okay, so where were we? I'm sorry, remind me what we're, Dr. Zelenko,
Dr.
right?
Zelenko. He was in still in the Earth plane.
Yeah. Hmm. So with the strength in the background, I'm thinking he wasn't terminal. His illness wasn't terminal. Okay, so I think there was some plotting going against him, and
Yeah.
that he's basically been relocated, like given a new identity with his page of
Oh
wands.
wow. Wow.
Which this is something, like what's it called? Witness protection. It's something like that. And he's really not happy about that. It's very disappointing for him, which I guess it's better than being assassinated. But I think there were plots
Yeah.
being made against him. Because I don't see him leaving the Earth plane with these 4 cards here. And
Yeah, because
this Knight of Wands and this Knight of Wands and Queen of Pentacles are very healthy.
See, like, yeah, I paid it.
Yeah. It's my sage.
oh,
Hold on, let me do a quick unveiling here.
unboxing there.
Unboxing. This was 400 baht. That's about $12 for 4 sticks.
Ooh.
Does anybody know? They're smaller than the last one. So, man, see, this is how they rip you off. Either that or maybe I ordered from a different place and didn't realize it. My original one was much bigger. Oh, it smells so good.
And you noticed really helped out, right?
Yeah. I don't know about it like keeping out dark entities and stuff like that, which I assume it does, but it makes me feel better. Just the smell of it. So I'll burn it in my room, and my room doesn't have any windows because it's sealed from the heat of the outside. So like hours later, when I come back into my room after I burn this, I can still smell it. And it's better than any incense or anything that I've had like that. By the way, I ordered seeds and I'm growing it in my herb garden. And because you can make tea with this, you can use it in cooking. So, but people tell me, is this a good deal? I paid $12 for 4 sticks about this size. I don't know if
Did
that's
you ever
good or
order
not.
sage before? Something.
We'll let people answer in the comments.
They can answer in the comments.
Okay, so sorry for the interruption.
Don't worry, we've been fooled on Amazon before about sizes. This is 10 centimeters. This is great, and then it comes in and it's
I've got the yeah, look at this one. Look how much bigger. Look how much bigger this one is.
It's like double
So
size.
so they definitely did a bait and switch on me there. Because I ordered one just to see if it was any good. Yeah, look at the size difference here.
Oh yeah. I'd say it's double the size.
Oh well. So I'm growing my own now. So
Yeah. There you go.
all right. Okay. Back to
That's
the
how you
cards.
really stick it to the man. Where are we?
Yeah, plus there's something special about growing your own whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, go let me get back to these cards here. As I was saying, I don't see anything here that says that he left the earth plane. I think he's been taken away, given a new identity. Because I think there was a lot of pressure being put on him to recant what he's saying before, but he wouldn't do that. He's going to tell the truth, even if it meant people that making people angry. He was still going to
Yeah.
come out and say the same thing because yeah, he was the information that he had was very healthy for people. So so
Mhm.
anyways, yeah. Veronica, tell Veronica she was right.
Yeah,
He's
you're right on
probably
that. The cards say he's alive. Witness protection. Yeah, because it was weird. He went to, as soon as I hear, oh, he went to the hospital, I was like, you should know better. You go to the hospital to die. You don't go to the hospital to get fixed. You know?
yeah. Unless it was like when that happened with Kirsten,
Yep.
Kirsten
Yeah,
W.
exactly.
And then people said, she didn't go to the hospital. One of her friends took her to the hospital. But even that, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah,
would know
exactly.
not to take someone to the
Oh,
hospital.
let me switch. All right, so let me switch. I'm going to share screen. All right, do you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, this is the doctor. She got into a plane crash. You can read it here. You know, was involved in a plane crash. It almost killed her. Um, I want to know, did it? These days, it's like you can't tell what's going on. I don't know what's real, what isn't real, and it's everything. Everything can be real. Everything can be fake. Um, so let's ask: did she get into a plane crash, and was it done on purpose? Was it foul play involved? Let
Right.
me switch.
Okay. Yeah, what did they say about I've heard statistics that you could fly in an airplane every day for 80 lifetimes and have one accident. Those are the
Yeah,
odds against
yeah,
you being in an airplane crash.
yeah.
You know?
Because there's so much regulation. They have to get checked. Probably like they have to be inspected probably every time they fly, and then every month they probably have to do an inspection. So it's not like when you're driving a car that I got to check the oil every 3 months or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Ah, very first card. You see? Yeah. I don't know. Did you say something in a yes or no form question? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Uh, I just asked, did it really happen, and was it foul play?
Okay, so it really happened, but I'm not. These are not foul play cards here. They're not. Oh, this card can be, but not with this King of Wands
Mhm.
in the past. Well, let's see. So did it really happen? Yes.
Mhm.
Was it an accident? I'm thinking it was. It might have been pilot error. I'm saying that because so this Ace of Pentacles, I'm thinking that maybe the pilot was inexperienced and maybe made a mistake. So I don't know anything about the plane crash, what caused it, or anything. So it really happened. We have this transportation
Yeah, the
and
chariot.
6. So, and I think it was something highly unusual. I just, how ironic would it be if it was something related to the jab?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
I'm
the
kind of,
pilot
I'm
was a
kind,
boyfriend? Oh, the
yeah.
pilot was their boyfriend. So
Oh,
he's not
really?
Jab. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Does it, do we know anything about the cause of the accident?
They didn't.
No, they said the plane was so badly damaged, so probably.
Oh, another way to read this
Yeah. Yeah.
Pentacles is that, okay, so if it wasn't a person, maybe the plane itself had a problem. Something wasn't, maybe a mechanic, possibly a mechanic who worked on the plane didn't do something right. So, but it
Yeah.
was definitely something that was like a novice mistake that was made, and it was something physical too. So that's why I'm thinking maybe and we got this. So something the mechanics did pre-flight. So
Okay.
it could have been pilot error. And if it wasn't that, I know I'm being broad here, but
Yeah.
without more information, more feedback, or a mistake by a novice mechanic. Either way, it's a person who made a mistake because they did something because they didn't have the experience.
Okay. All right. Let me.
And what we were saying before about how unusual it is to have a, be in an airplane crash, the 7 of Wands is very unique. So it is very something. So I'm not getting that it was nefarious. Let's see here. But I don't know. I think information that comes out about it may not, it's going to be not the whole truth.
All right. Well, let's do a Then let's do a broad question here. Let me show you. Switch back. I'm going to share the screen. Switch back.
I'll turn off my camera.
My screen. Desktop. X out of her, and I have a photo here. Let's see. Do you see that? It always comes up
Yeah.
so small. It was a picture of Dr. Zelenko and Carrie because they met. You'd think in certain
You can't drag it.
circles-
You can't drag it from the corner and make it bigger.
Oh,
Yeah, right there. There you go.
All right. So they're in the medical profession. They're both speaking out about what's going on. So they were connected. So what I want to ask is his issue, his event, and her event, were they caused by Black Hat? Now, if say the mechanic, say if it was a mechanic error, if you're asking direct question, it might be talking about a person making a mistake, but what if that mistake was caused their bad?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So ask if their the events that happened to them was it connected to the black hats, either indirectly or directly?
Okay. Yeah, because it does seem, that both of these people having one of them's gone, and or
I
Okay.
mean, and if you're talking
Nice.
about if both sides have, who knows what both sides have, but if both sides have, say a quantum computer or something big, they'd be able to do that. Where it's, you know what, why don't you do something to this person? It'll create a butterfly effect where when he shows up today, he's going to be out of it or thinking about something else and makes a mistake. Almost like Sherlock, those movies, Sherlock Holmes, where there's everyone's so smart, they're making 10 steps ahead.
Yeah. I think these two are being protected by the off-worlders. Okay, with the Empress in the background, there's a protection around people who speak out. So this card is people who speak out, and this is a kindness to them by off-worlders. So there's protection being given to these people. And like in one case, he's being hidden away.
All right, then I have a
And-
follow-up question on her accident.
Okay,
Was
hold on,
it done?
hold on, just a second.
Yeah.
I think she might go into hiding possibly in the future too. So if you hear about her leaving the Earth plane or something like that, here we got this again. This Page of Wands, and not talking about it. So we might see her leaving in the near future as well. Okay, so what were you saying?
I have a follow-up question. So how about this? Was the accident that happened to her, even though it was deadly, even though it was really dangerous that we know of, was that done on purpose for good? Like say Scott, you're my guardian angel, and you know that today if I make to point B, that something really bad is going to happen to me. So even though you make me get into a car accident on the way, and I maybe break a leg or get hurt, that saves me from the really bad thing that's happening at the end of the road. You know what I mean? So because something negative happens doesn't mean it's not for your good,
Another thing it does is it brings attention to her.
Yeah. Yep.
That could be another good thing that comes. So people, maybe who were on the fence, like people, oh, she was targeted, so
Yep.
maybe
She must be onto something.
I should pay attention to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we get major arcanas. If we get major arcanas, then you will be onto something.
All right. You gotta switch to share screen.
Oh, yeah.
To the cards.
Thank you.
Switch.
All right. Oh, there's that sun in the background. That's a lot like what you were saying, like a guardian angel and a major arcana travel. So two major arcanas. We have the Queen of Wands, which is truth and authenticity and family, which is very protective. Yeah. Dan, you kind of amaze me sometimes with your intuition. It's almost exactly like what you just described.
See.
And this is like a celebration too, which is be celebrating that she is safe. I think that means she has more work to do, getting her message out there. Because it's it's the wish of the white hats to get this information out that she has, because that's some really shocking, amazing stuff. You see these little creatures moving around. There was
That's what
something
you're-
else
yeah.
about her research too, about the blood coagulating. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I mean, yeah, I didn't know if it was. You hear so much, I didn't know if it was connected to her.
I watched a lot of her. Anyways, so yeah, something really bad could have happened with that airplane that she was in, with this chariot being in the middle, but she was under the protection of a whole alliance of white hats,
Mhm.
and even some like spiritual protection as well. And this was a way of getting her name out there more, so that even more people who never heard about her or her research will hear about it, and to get people like debating it, arguing about it, maybe getting normies to get into the debate about it. It's a maybe that this is a way to get her name out there. I mean, it's a horrible thing, horrible way. And I'm not saying it was done on purpose, because she is protected, but yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And to lead into the final, it's esoteric. So the final question, it's kind of two questions, but it's a big chunk, and it has to do with maybe demons and angels and aliens, and so this is a big one. And it's about
And
CERN.
stargates and portals.
Yep, Stargate portals. And it's about CERN. All right, so CERN is actually, and it's starting where you are. They're probably starting up, because on July 5th, CERN is getting active again, and it's already July 5th where you are. It's the 10th year celebration, I think, and
So it would be early morning right now in Switzerland,
Yeah.
where CERN is. So right now it should be starting up right as we speak, actually.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, for people that might not know what CERN is, it's a big collider. It's basically like a big circle, and they use magnets and power to smash elements together. And with this smashing together, a lot of people were worried. They were worried they could make a black hole, or they could make portals to another dimension, or who knows what they're doing. Because they don't really give a straight answer. If you go on their website, they literally say they're trying to make connection to another realm, like another reality or dimension, where they want to dark energy. There's so many different things they're doing there, and who knows what they're doing. But that's what they're admitting to. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Dan, one clarification, because I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to this stuff.
Yep.
They're colliding subatomic particles. So sometimes they're electrons, and sometimes they're other things, but those are the elements that you're talking about. That's what they're supposedly doing. Okay, colliding these, and there are a lot of people who believe that CERN started up around the same time that people started noticing the Mandela Effect.
Yep.
So if you don't know what the Mandela Effect, that is when two different people have different memories of the same thing, and I'm not going to go into it. Just if you don't know about it by now, you should. And if you don't, you can go look it up. And then there's that kid who said that CERN did something to the spin of the electrons in our universe and actually collided our universe with another universe. And,
and the other universe was destroyed. Ours is alive. And the reason why we're having these false memories is because, we've combined. So we have memories from the other universe, like that other you did something, and you're having a memory from that other you. And that other dimension is where Hillary won the election, and all the bad stuff happen, and this is the positive. This is the positive. Our
I
universe
stayed
is
in
the positive.
America running a printing press and
Yep.
taking care of children until the day I die.
So, hold on. So, what is it leading to? Oh, so it's activated. We hear rumors that the good guys have taken it over, right? And so there's not going to be any dimensions happening. But I want to know first if it's active, and then if the good guys are going to use this in a positive way, because there's always two sides of a sword, right? So if you can open a portal to a dark dimension, it means you should be able to open a portal to a positive dimension. You know what I mean?
All right. So first, let's look at is it operational? And
Yeah.
because when Janine did her recent look at it, she said it may or may not be operational, and that either way, it's in the hands of the White Hats. But first, let's look at is it even working?
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So your friend Heath there, he posted that the CERN collider is going to be active at 10 a.m. there.
You can 10 a.m. local time.
It says ET, and that's 4 p.m. CEST. And they're live streaming it.
Eastern time.
I'll check it.
What time now?
That 10 a.m. ET, and which is 4
What's-
p.m. CEST. I don't know. I'm just reading.
I don't. I know GMT. I know EST, EDT. I don't know ET. I can only assume that's Eastern time. Well, anyhow. Wow, look at this.
Ooh.
So first off, this 10 of swords, that it's definitely not it's not okay. This is saying either it's not operational at all or it's being used in a completely different way.
Okay.
So 6 of swords in the background. So it has changed hands from the dark hats to the white hats in the past.
Okay.
It's been completely overhauled or either dismantled or completely changed. And I get the feeling with this 3 of Pentacles and then this Temperance that they are trying to use it in a unique way for something else. But I don't like this tower. If they do that, then they might, like what you and I talked about before, the butterfly effect. If they go and try to use it for good, they might make things worse.
And honestly, they're live streaming, and what if they do it where it's like it's fake and they make it like a Marvel movie where they pretend bad stuff happens and a portal opens and things come out. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not getting anything about them faking it, but now another way to look at this card is not bad things happening. It's that revelations happening. And we got this Ace of Cups. So we might see more of like, do you remember when Obama was in Oslo?
Yep.
Getting his Nobel Peace Prize, and that
Yep.
portal opened up in the sky.
Portal
So we
open up,
might
the spiral.
be be seeing things like that. Something, I got this Ace of Cups next to this tower and a Nine of Swords. We could see something really dramatic come from this, one way or another.
So I got a follow-up question then.
Hold on, let me try to dig deeper here, but it's not going to be anything we're going to hear about. So I think it might be just for specific people to know
Mhm.
about. These cards are all over the place, but it looks like the outcome would be good for the world. All right, so what's your follow-up question?
All right, so if
I'm sorry, that reading was really vague. I have to admit that. But this card could go either way. And then I get this card that says, yeah, but they're not going to tell us what happens. But then I get this card that is like the whole family's involved, and so we do maybe on down the line we eventually find out what happened. And then I ended up with this card, which is like, yeah, but whatever comes from this is going to be good for people.
Okay, so
in a physical
my follow-up is, if they've retooled it and they're going to use it for something or activate it, what is it going to be used for? Is it going to be an energy? Is it going to be beings, or is it going to be actual crafts? Now, can you label certain cards as like a beings or an energy or?
Okay, well,
Actions or
wands will be from the spiritual realm. Pentacles, like I just saw, that pentacle would be more physical, craft or beings. Swords would be like information, kind of like what is it, looking glass.
Oh yeah,
And cups
is the energy.
Cups would have an emotional impact. That would be, cups would be, I would think maybe like the Schumann resonance. Schumann resonance, something like that. Bringing the vibratory state of the earth back to where it's supposed to be, in harmony with people.
Yeah, because people noticed when they were way back when they started turning it on, they noticed increase in earthquakes and an increase in activity in the sun when there shouldn't have been. All of a sudden there were
And by the way, we should be looking at the live Schumann resonance display at the same time when they turn on. If we see a connection there, then that will definitely tell you that it's
I'm sure
operational.
someone will. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do it when we get off here. I'm gonna try to find out exactly what time they turn it on, and I'm gonna get my live Schumann resonance, and I'm gonna be checking it. That's for sure. Okay, so to answer Dan's question, moon. What does that tell you, Dan?
I don't know. You got to tell me what's popping up. So whenever you switch, it gets like
yeah, takes a
laggy
while.
for me.
Right. I'll just wait till you catch up with me.
So if that's
We've got portals. We've got huh?
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
It feels like they want to put us back on the positive timeline. That's what it feels like here. So this lovers, we're talking about two universes that got merged together. That could be like the lovers.
Yeah.
And putting it back to what it should be. This King of Pentacles. He's authentic. He's real. He's the original Earth. She doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Here. And then this Four of Wands is a portal and another king. But it's all obfuscated by this moon. So it's like they don't really know what to expect with this moon. But I think they do have good intentions of trying to right what was done before. But maybe they're going to open a portal, and then that will make it so that you can better manifest thoughts and creating your own reality with this magician, but for the alliance, right? So it may make it possible for the alliance to have more control over this timeline somehow.
Yeah.
I think
That's what they
they're
need, because
trying to
we
do.
always, yeah, because we keep getting pushed back because little things keep messing them up. So maybe this is just the final blow.
These two cards here are a warning. This could easily go out of control and cause something unpleasant, something scary. So I don't know if they're actually going to do it or not, but it looks like they're thinking about it.
I
So I don't know.
we'll find out.
I've seen enough movies on time travel and alternate universes that you don't mess with that stuff.
Yeah. Things you tend to go really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah.
All right. So this leads into something that came up. Veronica has a friend, and this friend of hers, she gets intel from, we've done a reading before that he's legit, that he's very sincere, and the information she's getting is what he can give, because people are allowed to give. It's almost like a spy movie where you can only give some, can't give some. You may even get wrong stuff, whatever. But
Right.
what we heard was, things up is that right now they're taking off the heads of the pyramids, like the structure, the power structure. It's not just one massive pyramid. It's probably smaller pyramids that have certain responsibilities, and each one is controlled by someone at the top there, and then someone above them, and it makes a bigger one and bigger one. It's just a management, like a system that they tend to use. They like using that pyramid, and there are like 50 or so of these minor ones that need to be taken out, take off the head, so the minions all don't know what they're doing and everything falls apart. She was told that there's 2 beings left to take down. That's all we need is these. If we can get these 2 guys or 2 entities, it's the last 2, and then we can move to the next phase, right? And these entities, they could be aliens. I don't know what they are. I mean, we can read the cards about what they are, because it was very vague and what the description was. And you brought up Quetzalcoatl, right? Is that right?
Well, because
Quetzalcoatl?
one of the terms you used was, yeah, that's right.
Serpentine.
One of the terms used was serpentine.
Yep. And the other
Which
one
immediately
was
made me think of Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. And the other term was reptilian. Now, when I heard that, when I heard of serpentine was actually what you brought up, like very snake-like, which in my mind is something like a being that's very smooth skin. It's scale, but it's very smooth, shiny, thinner, like a snake. And reptilian could be more brutish, scaly, heavier, more intimidating, and they're hard to get a hold of. They can do crazy stuff that eventually we go back to do, maybe teleport, go invisible, whatever, So I want to know about the first one, the serpentine one, just a general, and then the second one, the reptilian.
You broke up a little bit there. So first we're looking at the serpentine, just in general.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always so slow. Ooh.
Well, I think the reason they haven't got them yet is because they've been very practical, very, very good at staying hidden. This Knight of Pentacles, very practical, but you know, when we say taking out these heads, it doesn't always
Yeah.
mean by violence. I
Yeah.
think I think the serpentine, because we're talking about the serpentine, I think they had a revelation that their place was untenable. Their position was untenable, and because it's a very practical being, I think they will get offered a deal. Yeah, because it's the best plan for its purposes. It's an off-worlder.
Okay.
Quetzalcoatl is thought to be from an alien, but
Yeah.
anyways, it's an off-worlder, and yeah, so
well,
they're communicating. They're definitely communicating with the good military. They're in the process of negotiations.
Yeah.
Or actually in
and
near future. So they've been offered a deal, okay, and in the near future they're doing some negotiations with like the whole off-world alliance of like how they can, cross over and start working for the good guys, I think.
yeah. Well, if
And-
we're talking about
Go ahead.
if we're talking about these high stakes, it sucks. But say if this individual caused pain and suffering and death for 1,000, but using them can make things better for 100 million. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose that person. Ending someone means they can never make it up. They're just done. And with huge power structures, you might need these crappy beings or whatever there. You know what I mean? Just doing something different.
Well, we get so caught up in the black, white, good, bad. It's all part of the same thing. And a lot of these entities, the Knight of Cups is fickle. The Knight of Cups can go one way and then go the other way. It's doesn't have a defined line. So I think breaking away from the dark hats and becoming even more independent. So yeah, in this case, not, and also this one seems like it's been really hard to route out by the white hats. So it might be better for them, and they don't have to send in troops underground to fight the minions or whatever. Better for them, like you said, have fewer lives lost by making a deal with it, because otherwise you have to fight it out in the trenches, right?
All right. So before this next reading on the reptilian, I just want to say what was coming to my head is that makes sense. The description, even the description of a person, if you describe a person as a snake versus a person that's an alligator, or, so the snake is smoother, it's more clever, more cunning.
And
So maybe it's almost even a description.
and how do they deal with snakes in India? They charm them. Snake
Charm them, yeah.
charmers.
All right, so then before we do the reading on the reptilian, I'm thinking this one's more brutish. This one may be one they have to take down.
Yeah. This one will fight to the bitter end. That's what I think as well. So let's see what the cards say. Okay, this is the reptiles.
Let's see what we got here. Ooh.
Okay, so it looks like they have been in negotiations with them in the past. It's there are talks going on at the high levels, in the courtly cards.
Yep.
So like they have their leader talking to a female representative from the alliance, and the Mr. T and his Q team are involved in that. But I think it's reached a stalemate, and they're gonna have to go in and use force in a very swift action to take them over, because they're not going to give in. I think they have to be forced to surrender.
Yeah.
And it's gonna happen very quickly. And I think they're gonna use spiritual means, not military. They're gonna use like some kind of it's gonna be on a spiritual level of a battle.
I feel like just when you look at the cards, like the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Wands, when I see the 8 of Wands, sometimes I think of missile striking, like a missile strike, and it feels like overwhelming. Whatever they use, they're going to have to use overkill.
10 of Swords, and yeah, but in this case, I know what you're saying, and I like strikes from the air, like we've talked about rods of God and stuff like that. In this case, I don't think that's what it is. It's something different. It's more of a battle that's going to be fought on a spiritual level, not like underground with weapons. This is happening in another dimension, I think.
Well, she mentioned
Not even
that
here.
they
It's
both
not happening on the Earth plane. It's happening in another dimension, I think, with these guys.
Well, she mentioned that her source mentioned they've been tough to nab because they have ability, or like ridiculous, like being able to go invisible, be able to pass through walls. So, I mean, maybe it makes sense that it might be tools or devices or spiritual weapons that do things that we can't even fathom, because we think of a weapon, it has to be a gun and a missile, versus, I mean,
with these last 3 cards all being cups too, and the last one a 10, I think it's by raising the vibe of the planet to a more positive vibe. I think that drives it out.
Yeah, that could.
I think that's what I'm getting here. This is not conventional warfare with guns and bombs and things like that. This is, and I think this is, here's where it comes to, it's up to you and me and us and everybody listening, staying in that higher vibration. You force that entity out of this world because it doesn't have those negative energies to feed on anymore.
Yeah. You know, it makes me think of, remember in the Gulf War, they talked about how they were, all those, that huge army gave up. They just gave up. And it was because they were sending unique sound waves and frequencies over the radios. And it was just making all those people depressed and miserable, you know, just a unique, like different warfare. So, I mean, in the same way, you could do the same thing. And if they're negative, they're going to hate positive stuff. They're just they won't be able to function. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe. Check that. All right. So I think we're set for the YouTube side.
Okay. So
I want to mention, I just wanted, you're doing your tarot reads, right? The regular reading for what, an hour and a half at what was it? $63.99.
Yeah. Actually, let me say one thing. I think that live that we did helped, because right after that I was booked solid for a week, and just maybe just, you know, me being out there got people interested. So anyways, yeah, my fee is $63.99 for an hour and a half. I use Zoom. I record the session and then I send you a copy of it. However, if you would like a mini reading, you can get 30 minutes for $33. Or if you have just a single question for $11. All right. So that's if some people, I've got my first mini reading for tomorrow, actually. Someone paid the $30 fee for a half hour. So maybe that suits some people. So yeah, thanks, Dan. Oh, and you know what? I gave away one mini reading, a 15-minute reading. Still waiting for that person to, they contacted me through email, but we haven't set up a date yet. But I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Okay.
Yep.
So let's do that. Where am I here? The Wheel of Fortune. Who's going to be the lucky winner today? Get your free. Now, this is a mini reading, so 15 minutes. Because it's free. I hope
You can
it's
get a lot
somebody I've
out of
never
a,
done.
you can get a lot out of
Yeah.
a single question, because it's usually not, was it Catherine Smythe?
Yeah. Catherine Smythe. All right. Well, Catherine Smythe, if you hear this, and I'll put your name. Some people don't like their name. Well, listen, if you don't want your name being said, then you shouldn't use it as your screen name. But anyways, I'll put your name in the description, and hopefully you'll get back to me with your free reading. And is there anything else
And
you want
when
to say
you
about that?
when you talk about the mini reading or the single question, that could be valuable for someone, and don't feel like it's pressure that, oh, I asked the wrong question. You know what I mean? A single question can open up a little more. I mean, when I ask you a single question, you do the question, and then you ask for clarification,
Right.
or maybe even like
It's
it
not
veers
just
off a little.
one spread. You know, if you have one question, I could do 2 or 3 spreads on it until we get a satisfactory, or try to get a satisfactory answer.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Uh,
let's switch to the Patreon side for a couple. All right. It's going to be about recent events.
Well, let's tell
currently.
our YouTube viewers what our Patreon will be about. Maybe hey, listen, if you just want to come over, pay $1 to see my Patreon, then I'm happy with that.
Okay. All right, it's going to be about current events. 4th of July, we had a FF thing happen in Chicago, and we're going to talk about that. And I had a quick question that talks about Roe versus Wade. Let's just, but it's just a quick question. We're not going to get in depth. Just something I was thinking about. And those are the two
Okay.
spicy things that we're going to be talking about.